This is a Caps Radio podcast.
I am joined by the incredible, extraordinary Mrs. Africa finalist Lolo Nkamankeng. There is so much to cover because the nature of what the person does. She does so much. Now, you've just explained to me about where you're from, and I want to get into your journey now. We're going to come back in how you were raised before that. What made you become so passionate about education? I mean, you're a young one, is an author. I know you are busy in the education space. Why are you so passionate about everything you're passionate about?
Let me say, as Tata Mandiba used to say that education is the best weapon to change the world. And also the narrative, people think that education is when you go and sit in the classroom for a teacher to teach you and what. No. Even what we do every day in our daily life is we educate ourselves. The empowerment that we use is part of education. We use that empowerment to educate the people around us, to educate people that what you are doing or you must understand, because most of the time our mindset is our problem. If you educate somebody to change the narrative of the mind, then you will see what will begin on that person. You will change that person's life, and you will change the way the person think.
I love what you're saying. I would like to focus. I listen a lot, and I love asking questions.
Perfect. I'm here to answer all your questions.
Fantastic. I hear you speaking about mindset, and I love what you said in the beginning. That look, I tell people I'm from Africa, and because that's where I'm from. And now you're speaking about mindset. Your journey, going as far as you have, you are in South Africa, you've married a South African, he's also an African, you know. What are some of the challenges that you found within the mindset, specifically of the people that you've come across? What do you think would you say our mindset can be a stumbling block? Can it block us to achieving certain things? What have you seen as the problem with our mindset, specifically Africans?
Lwazi, what I've seen, our mind is our life and our future, the way I can put it, because everything starts from up, from our mind. What you think is what you will see from that person. So the narrative is it's time for us to change the way we were thinking. We are in 21st century. Yes, we know our culture, the way we grew up, and the way we see things. People just continue in that way. I grew up this way. My mother taught me, or my parents this, and what. No, it's a time we need to see something differently. Reality. We change the way people look at others. They say you can't judge a book by the cover. But also sometimes it's two-way. Because somebody like me, I love reading stuff. So if I see a title of a book, then I want to know what is inside. But sometimes I will always say, okay, let me check this book, what is inside. So like I'm talking about the mindset in regarding of the disability that we have in Africa. You get me? Like, let me talk about autism. Yes,
please do. I do understand that autism is it's an issue that is very close to your heart. How is autism close to you? What's your experience with autism? You can unpack it for us.
I can say I never knew. That is what I said. My mind is open to learn, to know new things. I knew about it because of my son. If I didn't have a son with autism, I will never knew about what is autistic. So they say something happened in your life to teach others, to educate others.
Yes.
We know it's difficult. We know it's not an easy journey. I was heartbreaking.
Tell me about your experience, because autism, especially in the African perspective, is highly misunderstood. For me, for example, I only learned about autism this year on Autism Week.
You see?
A little bit about it, and it's something that in the African culture, we don't know much about it. How was your experience when you first came in touch with, and it happened to your child? How did you take it, and how did society and everybody take it?
I never knew about it, but when he was diagnosed, And the diagnosis also is also difficult for the doctors.
Why?
Because, yes, it's a very difficult, how can I put it? It's not an illness.
Okay.
People think, it's not an illness. It's just a
condition.
It's a condition of your brain. Yes, the syndrome of your brain. How your brain worked, and some parts that they are not working. So it's the growing of. It's like a Down syndrome. Okay. So we never knew about it until when my son was diagnosed. So, but I was in denial. That is one thing of us.
Why? Tell me about that.
I was part of that. One of that parent that I was like, no. My child will never be like that. My child is not like that. I don't want to hear about it. You know, that kind of stuff. I don't want to. So, but the thing is, the more you deny it, the more you find the difficulties. And the more it's difficult for you to help that child.
Because you're denying.
Because you are in the denying state. So if you are in denying state, you can't help somebody when the person is in denying state. You can't love that person. So all is love until I reach a point. I think it's 2 years ago or 3 years ago that I was like, okay, let me say no, let it go, because it's a child from God. God, they say God gives you something that you can't handle. God cannot give you something that you can't handle. Then I was like, okay, with the faith, they say give your burden to him. So I said, okay, Lord, you gave me this child. You know what I'm going through, and you knew the journey that we are going with my family. So that is the time I said, okay, let me go ahead with it. Then I feel myself was very light. I just embrace. Yes, I embrace the autism.
How old was, is it a he?
It's a he.
How old was he when you found out, or when the doctors diagnosed him? Because you did say it took a lot, it was very difficult for them to diagnose it. It must have taken some time.
He's 12 years old, but when we found it, he was 4 years and a half.
My word! So you've been with him for this 8 years
12,
now.
Yeah, he's 12 years now.
And I want to know now. This is where it brings us to our, our perspective and mentality as Africans. How did the community, or even kids at school, at that age? Because I know it would have to come back to the parent, and I have to ask you this: how did society, the community around you, treat him at first?
They look at it like it's a taboo, like it's a curse. Yes. And also they will look at it like, what happened to your child? You know, us Africa, we have this native belief. Okay, maybe you have gone and do something to give your child because you want to be powerful, or sometime maybe you have sent it in Sangoma kind of thing, all those kind of stuff. Yeah, the mentality is there. Sometimes they will look at, they will say, no, this child is this kind of witchcraft kind of child that we have given birth to. But also sometimes my heart will be very hurt. Then I was like, oh God, yes, maybe they don't know about it. You get me? Yes, they are talking of ignorance. They are ignorance about it. Because if I said, okay, if I was in their position, how will I behave? Will I say the same thing if I never knew about it? The answer will be, in my mind or in my thought, yes, I will also like, what is wrong with that child? How is he behaving like that? So that is why when they stopped me now, I started doing awareness and education. About that is where my inspirational speaking started.
So you took your disadvantage and you changed it around and you made it into an inspiration. Course. What's that been like for you in terms of, look, it's not something easy, because I know how our people can be. When you started now having to educate people about it, how did you find the reception was from the people, especially knowing that your own child has got autism? Do you think, especially us Africans, I like to focus on us Africans because
of course, that
we
is
are
where
the ones that
is.
don't understand it.
We don't, even up to now.
What causes us to quickly say it's witchcraft and so forth? And when you give them the information, how do they receive it?
It's the same like when they teach you at school, some will listen, some will not, some will pass the exam, and some will fail it. So it's the same thing. Somebody will behave like, okay, I'm listening. What is she talking about or all? But remember, as I always said, behind our mind, everybody have their own conception, their own way of thinking. So you can't tell what that person, the inner circle of that person is doing. So that is what I said. Yes, I will just tell you all about it. I will open up because it's time for us to speak out. Not that time that we were ashamed that which kind of child is this? You close the child, you put the child closed door, because there are some parents out there that they even up to now that they don't go out with their child who is having this Down syndrome because they are ashamed. I don't blame them, because we have this coffee conversation group that we say one parent will like, no, me I can't, because my neighbor, they will look at my child like my child is crazy. I said that, I told the mother, I said, no, you know what? Yes, they will look at you, your child as like your child is crazy, but turn it in the positive way. Think positive. Teach that person. The next time that person will see your child, he will understand. So what I do most of the time, I even educate more on mainstream parents, because mainstream parents and mainstream people are the one that they don't understand about autism. Like us that we knew now what is it, but you, like you standing there, you don't know what is an autism or autism. You don't know. If you see an autism child, you will not know. So that is my own. I'm going beyond to teach others, to inspire others, to tell them awareness more on, this thing you see like this is not a curse, it's not a and also they should know that it's not treatable.
Yeah, right. The time right now is exactly 26 minutes after 1. I am with an inspiring, amazing. This is Mrs. Africa finalist Lolo Nkamankeng. Guys, stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to speak about her journey to becoming a Mrs. Africa finalist. You've just heard her now speak about autism. We're also going to speak a little bit about what role parents can play in the upbringing of their kids. And then lastly, we'll also look at some of the superstars that she has. She's got a young one who is an author. All right, you are with Lwazi. I'm still joined by Ukhumotso right here next to me. Yes. We'll be with you guys up until 3. This is Lunch on Caps. Stay tuned.
So, did it bleed?
No, but there were plenty of bruises all over the back of my legs, Chom.
You should report him to the police. Really? I mean, it's assault.
Yeah, easy to say.
No, Jazz, but seriously.
Plus, I deserved it.
Sometimes you've got to be glad you don't have a father. But listen, you haven't gone to the clinic yet, have you?
I was going this afternoon. How?
I've got a number for you. The Love Life Youth Line. You can just send them a please call and they call you back.
My phone went in the swimming pool, Ms. Chomi.
Okay, here's my phone. Send them please call me with that.
Thanks, but can I keep it till break, Chomi? I'll send a please call then.
Okay.
Welcome to Love Life. How can I help you?
Jazz, so was that the helpline?
Yep. Done and dusted. I'm going in tomorrow afternoon.
Love Life.
You're listening to Caps Radio, the place to be for all the information you need about education.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. And guys, you can listen live on www.capsradio.co.za, and then it's at Caps Radio SA on Facebook, Instagram, and on our Twitter. The WhatsApp line is 0812785685. Now, like I did say, if you've just joined us, the time right now is exactly 28 minutes after 3. It is the 2nd of July on a Tuesday. I'm joined in studio by the Mrs. Africa finalist Lolo Nkamankeng, who is a wife, a mother to 4, of which one is an autistic child, and the other one has made history by becoming South Africa's youngest author.
And Africa,
thank you. And Africa's youngest author among the top 10 youngest writers in the world. She's an award winner. Well, you'd be the award winner. Woman of God, an entrepreneur, an event planner, life and relationship coach, a businesswoman, inspirational speaker, and an advocate for human rights, and the rightful founder of LASNM Events Management and Services. Now, just on the issue, when we did come back, we said we're going to focus on the issue of the role that parents can play.
Yes, correct.
What would you say parents need to understand about, let's just say, autism, and also looking after their children in terms of understanding certain illnesses that kids may have or certain conditions? What would you be your message, or what do you think parents need to understand and pay attention to?
What I can say for parents, they should listen to their kids. They should listen to their children, because most of the time they turn a blind eyes.
Why? What
to their kid? When I say blind eyes, I mean we are in the situation, we are in the world now that kids is. I love children who speak.
Oh yeah.
Because you will know when there's a problem.
Oh.
And how to approach it.
Okay.
Sometimes we are so busy catching up with our own life that we think that to be a parent is just to check whether your child have eaten or what and all that one, but you don't know what is going on through that child's head, in the mind. Also, kids, they get depressed. Do you know that? Because if you don't focus on them, you don't ask them what they are going through. Sometimes just make a family day, ask them how was your day from school. The child will open up to you, but not just like, when the child want to say, hey mommy, I want this, you say, no, this is not the right time, I'm busy. We do that a lot. So you need to listen to them. Even you are doing something and your child said, hey mommy, please, there's something I want to tell you. Just take a break and listen. Because remember, kids, they don't have that patience. We know we teach them about patience, but if the child sees that you have a listening ear, the child will always come back.
Oh, so they start trusting you more.
Yes.
They're more comfortable speaking.
And make them your friend. Mostly the girls.
Tell me more about that.
The girl child, the mothers should make the girl child their friends, and also the fathers, because they learn a lot. Like my girls, I've got 3 girls. I've 3 girls. My elderly one, she feel free to talk to the dad. You get me? Yes, if she feel free to talk to the dad. That is what I was like. No parent, it doesn't matter. No matter, they said men abuse a lot about children, but we should put it both ways, in the positive ways, because sometimes the mother will not be there. Who would look after the child? Is the father. So they should allow the father also to be there for the girls, because when the girls, the child is also having the hormones changing, they will come and ask the dad, when can a boy do this? When they have started maturing, they will ask, when daddy, okay, how do you know when this boy is wants me or not, or why do you know if this guy is abusing me? It's the space of the dad to tell the child. I can be the mother to tell the child, but you will see, it will not be that pride or humble than when the father or when a male gender person is telling the girl, the daughter, that okay, no, is this the you get the narrative.
Yes,
I know there are single parent out there, but it doesn't mean that the single parents also cannot. An uncle can also do.
Yes.
In the absence of the father.
So you're saying
so parents should listen to their children, because sometimes when they come and tell us something, we don't believe.
What causes that? I like what you're saying, because many a times, especially when kids have been victims of abuse, you find that it takes the parents a long time to believe the child.
Yeah.
And in some cases, you find that even after the child says, look, I've been raped, or they're fall pregnant, they say that the child was hiding it. What causes that gap between parents being able to understand. Look, let me just be open. Being able to understand things like hormonal changes and sexual behaviors. Why does it get the feeling? Parents, are they scared to open up to their kids about that? What causes that gap between parents and kids as kids are developing, whether hormonally, sexually, and all that?
Now we come again in our African perspective. Us, like when we are growing, our parents never sit and discuss about now your hormones. When you are having your menstruation, so you can't go and tell your father that. They were like, hey, get out, come out. So you see, us growing up, we grew up with that mentality.
Oh yeah.
We grew up that no, our parents never told us this, and we can't tell our kids also this. No, because the way we are growing now is changing. Technology is everywhere. If you don't tell them the truth, they will watch it on TV. They will Google it on YouTube. They would, and remember, the thing is, it's better for the child to hear from the parent than to listen outside. And they take a lot of the negative talk than the positive one. So if you tell them, and also I always tell parents, tell them the truth. Don't be shy. If a child asks you that okay, what is this? What does the meaning of this? Pronounce it to them. Mostly when the child is already a teenager. Tell them sexuality is like this, because we are scared to talk about sex. Even grown-up women, because that is what I do also. I talk about sex and marriage. So even us women, we are scared to tell our husband that, hey, please, today I feel I want to, we should have a romantic night or what, evening. They are scared. Women are very tight up.
Do you want to ask a question? I see you.
Earlier on, we've been speaking about, remember, talking about girls going through menstruations and stuff like that. So hearing you speak about a girl child going through hormonal changes and stuff like that, and they should also be able to confide to their dad. And do you as a mom not only speak to the child but also have some sort of that kind of discussion with the dad, so that they know how to approach a girl child specifically?
We do. We do. Like even me and my husband, we are very open when it comes to discussion. Yes, we discuss anything, and he's that kind of a man who is very supportive. He's a family person. He's that kind of person that he's about humanity, kind of. So he take that part very important, and also he's one of that father that when they talk about children, he's close to his heart. And also we need to discuss to them so that they should be free around. We are not saying that they should be free around any person, because also there are men out there that is abusive. And also I also said there is women or mothers that they also abuse their child. Yes, because they always say men. They are also mothers. They are also women that they abuse their child. Not that they do it physically, they do it emotionally, and also sometimes maybe because they are depressed. Like, let me say I've got my issues. Instead for me to deal with my issue personally or with the person that I've got issue, I will take that issue now and pour it on my child or any person. You see, so we are not firm in our stuff like the men. We can have issue. The men can have an issue now, but when they go to their workplace or they enter this office, they tell you that man have an issue, will never accept. But for us women, we'll take our issue wherever we go. So that is what I always tell women, that no, we can't. We need to differentiate our problems.
Great. I'm actually just listening so much because I'm thinking education for myself as well.
This is Caps Radio. We are all about education.